Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet. We are tracking our attendance by putting the name of your organization into the chat. You don't have to put your name. If your name's already there, we can see your name. We just need the name of your organization, and that's how we're going to track attendance. By somebody from each agency needs to be here. We're going to start off with a few announcements from Brandon Bax.
All right, hello, good afternoon, everybody. We're getting down to crunch time with the contracts. So everything has to be done by July 1st, as everything is. And right now we're working on budgets, getting budgets approved in CSA. And then your NOSA, the Notice of State Award, or the NOSA, that'll be sent out next. And if there's any other things that your agency hasn't done, we'll be reaching out, like completing the ICQ or the payment form, anything like that. We'll be reaching out to you. We'll be sending you an email, and it might not be for me. There's other people that are helping with IYP and AIYP and the new programs to get all this done, since it has to be done by the end of the month. So we're coming down to the last 9 days, and we might be asking for a lot of stuff. So just, if you could, please respond back to us as soon as possible. And if it's something your financial person needs, or your executive director, or someone other than you, then please forward that info, or get the information to them, to the right person, so they can complete it and send it back to us, because we are on a time crunch. Otherwise, we've got hopefully some new provider, or we are getting the new providers set up with Illinois WorkNet, so that you can enroll your youth in the system and join these TA sessions and all that stuff too. So we're trying to get that set up as quickly as possible. Like I said, we're also in the middle of trying to get all the contracts in place for FY23, which has to happen here in the next 9 days. So just, as always, reach out if you have any questions. The best way is to email me, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So other than that, the main word of the day is communication, and please respond in a timely manner.
All right. So if you are one of the new AIYIP providers and are joining us today, we will go over how to find your accounts. I also want to talk about the career plan and how that associates with the PPR and the data that is included in it. So if you are with us and you are a new user, I just messaged my programmer to make sure that he has added the new providers, and you should receive an email to the email address associated with your work for your account that we're adding to the user management system, so that you can access the customer support center IWIS for tracking your participants. I do recognize a number of the providers who were on that list of AIYIP. So they are familiar with the system, but there are a few nuances that have changed over time. So we will kind of take them under our wing and give them the grand tour. We'll probably do that that first TA call in July, on the 5th, on July 5th. And yes, we will have a call that day. It's the 4th, is the holiday. Okay, we'll start out here with, if you are logged into Illinois WorkNet, if you go to your Illinois WorkNet account, oh, it's okay. Sorry, folks. User glitch here. If you are logged in, which I will log in here, you'll get an Illinois WorkNet user account and password. And across the top here in the brown ribbon, you will click the drop down for the dashboard, and you will click on customer support IWIS. Or you can go to the Illinois WorkNet partner page. And that is DHS Youth Partners. Okay, come on. I'll copy that link and add it to the chat. And there is a link here where you can go to the Customer Support Center. That is the way that you get logged into the actual tool where you can track everything. You will have also, you'll have this drop down from your partner tools side of your My Dashboard, or you can go to the partner guide and click here. Charlotte, what we're doing is we're adding what agency you are with so that I can track attendance that way. We also have all of our recordings from our sessions like today. We have a full list of resources. And just to let you know, as part of next year's contract for me, I am going to be redoing all of the training videos. So yay, you don't have to watch old videos. And the other thing that we're going to do is, if you are logged in, there will be a little spot right here that says My Training, and that will take you to a link where there will be a program. So for right now, I'm logged in as a partner who has ISETS training. What we'll do is we'll put a DHS Youth training option down here. So if you have access to multiple programs, you may have access to multiple training modules. And so then that way you'll just click on this. You'll be able to watch the videos. The associated instructions are on the partner page. So yay. All righty. Yeah, so that gets you where you need to go. The one thing that we do need to know is who from your organization, if you are one of the new partners, will be the person responsible for the partners, adding new and removing old partners from your agency. So for example, I know CAPS is back, so that will probably be, I can see her face. I can't remember her name right now, brain cramp. But I know who that one will probably be, but we'll need to know who's going to be responsible for your agency partners participation. All right. Okay, let's move on to the career plan. And I just want to let you know, one of the things that we did with the career plan, and I keep talking about this because it's just going to make your PPR smoother, because it will load all of that information for you. So when you come in here and you're looking at your participants, and you go to one of those people, I'm going to go to George Grzanich. And if they're active and they are participating in your program, you can go to the career plan, and we have an overview page on the career plan, and it tells you the next steps that are associated and whether or not you have started them or completed them. and when the planned due date is. So all of those different pieces that come along here are associated with that. You can click on here, you can click on this step, and it will take you directly to that step so that you can make any updates. You can also access them from going to step 3 right here, and you'll see all of the goals associated with your program. Now, there's a lot of pre-populated steps, and what that means is there are goals that have been associated with certain things that have steps or activities associated with that goal. And each one of these items has a relationship to the PPR. And so if you fill these items out, it will automatically feed your PPR. So you don't have to do all of those hand calculations. And it also allows Brandon and Michelle the ability to just auto check what's going on. So a desk audit could be done on your program. They could spot check 5 or 6 people, and your steps may not reflect the activity. So once a month, I would suggest that you stay on top of the career plans for your participants and click in and update those services that are associated with that participant. Now, when it's a work placement, you want to make sure that you're adding the workplace. And we talked about this last time, is if it's permanent employment, they get terminated. If it's a work experience opportunity, the status becomes successful or unsuccessful completion. And if you have subsidized employment, it tracks the number of days. And we all know that there are a limited number of days per type of program, the category in which your participant is enrolled. So it's 90 days max for category 1, 270 days max for category 2, and 365 days max for category 3 or 4. And Brandon, AIYIP is the same as categories 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, it is. That's the only difference. Is AIYP is only categories 1, 2, and 3. There's just no category 4.
Okay. All right. Okay, so now, what kind of questions do you have about the career plan? There are a lot of pre-populated goals. There are a lot of pre-populated steps. Last time we talked about the ability to manipulate your specific activities into an existing activity or service. So if we need to address that again, we can do that. What I want to do is show you on the partner page under the full list of resources, there is a list of the pre-populated steps. So what you can do is you can kind of take your specific steps and relate them to one of these items, because if you put in your own service, it may not count on your PPR. So if you need help figuring that out, let Brandon or I know, or Nicole, and we'll help you figure out where it might go. And then on those actual steps, you can always add a credential. So for example, if somebody is doing food safety because they're going to be a food preparer, that credential could be added to a step where it might be complete career readiness, or somewhere down in here. Anyway, we can make it apply to a service, to one of these services that are already in here. We don't want to create a whole bunch of new ones without associating them to the PPR in some form or fashion. So are there any questions about that? And the PPR is working right now. We do have one other piece that needs to be built, but it is related to careers and high growth. And so that's going to require a whole another piece of programming, and we might not have that ready. So you may still have to do a little bit of counting when it comes to SOC codes and placements in high growth careers. Does that step apply to youth who are doing internship and want to work part-time? So Jacqueline, you're asking, do all of those steps and services apply to category 1? Yes, she said yes, Brandon. Brandon, if you're talking, you're muted.
Okay, sorry, I was responding to some questions in the chat. I missed that. What? So it was a question that, does a step apply to category 1?
Do all of the steps and services apply to category 1 youth?
Well, I'd say it depends on the youth. I mean, all the steps would, I would think.
We do have the ability, so Jacqueline, we do have the ability for you to go to the customer services report and you can find the youth that has all of the services and filter, and all of the services will show up. And if your youth are not actually doing one of the services, you could go in and mark everybody in one fell swoop. And we do have a recording on this, and we did talk about this on several of our TA sessions, so you could go back through and watch those recordings. But this is an easy way to go through and mark. So for example, anger management, conflict resolution, I've got 45 youth who have not started that service. So I click on the 45, it gives me a list of everyone, and I can mark all of them, like say none of them needed the evaluated, or none of them needed this service. So I could click evaluated, not required, put today's date, today's date, today's date, and 0, and mark that for everybody. And they're all taken care of in one fell swoop. Or if you've got Maxwell apprenticeship, it looks like there's a whole bunch of him in there. Remember, this is test. And you can mark some with the evaluated, not required. You can mark some as planned. I'm sorry, you can mark some as started, as long as everybody has a date. And we are working on trying to get this fixed so that you don't have to put something in everybody's profile if it says planned, not started. That is a bug that we found that we're trying to get fixed. Brandon replied, the steps may or may not apply to the individual youth enrolled, but the category in which the youth is enrolled would not matter. All steps can apply depending on the youth. And just like I said, you can mark them as evaluated, not required. They do not have to do this stuff, but they do have to be marked in some form or fashion. So this is the customer services report, if you want to access that. Has everybody been able to add customers successfully? I know that I had one issue with somebody that was giving us problems earlier. We did fix several things that I'm hoping that everybody's now able to add. And just as a reminder, we do have on the dashboard for DHS Youth. On the dashboard for DHS Youth, we do have 2 new rows on here. Well, 2 new applications for the rows. We have customer invited, application not started, and then we have application started. And if you click on the number, it'll take you to those people. So then you'll be able to get to their application and help them complete it. I do have a test out with Urbana Neighborhood Youth for one of their youth. And do you happen to be on the call, Urbana? Do you know if that person was able to enter their application and were you able to enroll them?
Yes, Dee, this is Crystal from Urbana Neighborhood Connection Center, and I have not heard back from her yet, so maybe I'll send out one to another student.
Okay, all right.
Just so we can get a response sooner rather than later.
Sure, and I just sent it off to Chelsea from Boys and Girls Club. And once I find out from the 2 of you guys, if that link works properly, then we'll let everybody else use that.
Okay. Okay. I know when I clicked on it, it went right to it, but I didn't put any information in it, so.
Yes, but the other thing that you have to look at is it putting in information as you, or is it putting in information as the participant? So you don't want to be logged in.
Gotcha.
Fill out that application.
Gotcha. Good point. Thank you, Dee.
You'd be too old to participate. I'm not saying that you're old, but you'd be too old for the youth program.
That's okay. Like, that's the second time I've been called old this month. I'm getting used to it.
I don't even know how old you are, honey. So, but you're not as old as me, so that's okay.
Thank you so much, Dee.
You're welcome. All right. Are there questions that I need to answer where I need to stop recording?
Yeah, I have a question. This is
Can I
Toby.
record it, Toby?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's nothing personal.
Okay.
I tried to add some of my youth workers. I tried to email them the application, but it's not giving me that option. The only option that I'm getting is to fill out the application with the client.
Right. And
With the
that's all
customer.
I want. That's all I want you to do until I know for sure that the link is working.
Oh, okay. All right then. I thought maybe I had did something on this end.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Dee, it's Shannon. I have a question, but I have no idea if you can record it or not. It's about adding providers.
We can probably do that one.
Okay, so we are a AIYIP provider as a community intermediary. So we essentially have 4 schools that'll be added. Will they be listed under our original provider listing? Does that make sense, what I'm asking?
What I think we're going to do with those, Shannon, is under here, under the DHS Youth, we're going, see right here, my list shows IYIP. What I believe we're going to do with those is label them AIYIP. And
Okay,
they'll be, all of those people will be all grouped together under AIYIP.
okay, so my question is, so I currently have 7 providers right now. Will I still be able to see all of their information under the listing that I have with my 7 schools? Does that make any?
I will add you to all of those providers so that you can see their stuff.
Okay, great. Next question, I'm sorry. We're training them on Monday. Do you have any estimate of when they'll be able to access that, or when I'll be able to access that to add them to their provider?
My programmer told me he forgot over the weekend. He took a long weekend because of Juneteenth.
Right.
And he forgot to do it on Friday before he left for the weekend. So he's going to do that tonight. So
Okay.
send me an email, please, and let me know which schools I need to make sure you have access to.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Dee.
Sure.
Hey, Dee,
Yes, sir.
and I don't want to get into to get too confusing on this call, so I might just send you a separate email about this. But that was Shannon from Alternative Schools Network, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay, so there's 3 different ones. We've got IYP, and then we got AIYP, but then what she's talking about is AICI. It's the ARPA IYP community intermediaries. So they are not AIYP. We need to keep that separate. They're AICI for the community intermediaries. So
Okay.
you'll know the best way to do it. And that's something different.
And yes, so I'll need that list. I'll need that list, Brandon, if you have that,
Yes.
and who those people are, so that I can have, if you've got it today, Avi's going to enter those tonight for AIYIP, so he could enter those at the same time if you've got those.
The AICI, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll send you an email right now.
Okay. And if you know who the lead is for those, kind of put an asterisk by their name so that I can make sure that they have user management.
Okay, no problem. I'll send you. It'll be easier with the email. There's not very many of them.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, would there be a separate training for AICI partners concerning their affiliate organizations that will be entering data in Illinois WorkNet?
I have a feeling that we need to do, and Brandon, you can confirm this, I have a feeling that we need to do a separate start to finish kind of training for all of the new people.
Yes, I would say yes for new people in general for just using the WorkNet system, but then we'll probably need to do something separate for the AICI because it's a little different.
Okay. All right. We can talk about that tomorrow morning.
Yeah, right. Like I
Okay.
said, I didn't try to get people confused on. We have enough stuff to confuse us as it is, just with IYP and everything else. But yeah, I would say 2 separate trainings.
Okay. We'll alert you to dates, or Brandon will alert you to dates.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I'll let them.
All right. Are there any other items that I can record? All right, thank you for watching today. I will stop the recording and then we can answer. I can answer individual questions next. Have a great rest of your day.